Okay, here's our mobility moves for today. And this is Wednesday. So of course I'm barefooted. And I would suggest that to you, if you can do it at all, go ahead and be barefooted because it will definitely help work your foot. Hi, AJ. You can't hear me. I went ahead and muted everybody because we're getting started. So as people come in, we won't get feedback, like sound feedback. I like feedback, not the kind that makes it so you can't hear. I'm going to turn my chair this way. Okay, I'm going to use my little pad and I'm going to put it in the floor first. And here's the thing. We're going to do some patterned type walking to get us our heads warmed up a little bit. See this pad? I'm going to go like this. See that? And then I bent the back knee just a tiny bit. So the reason I'm doing all this as I lead into our mobility workout is because I'm forcing you into, even though it may be a split second, a one-legged stance in different positions. This is very important for recovering from any kind of knee, hip, ankle issue. So as you stand behind your pillow like this, we're going to go cross to the side, cross to the side. We're going to go straight forward, stepping off, stepping back, change right here. So the minute you put your foot here, okay, before you bring the back foot forward, put the heel down and push your knee forward. You don't go forward. The knee goes forward a little, not a lot over the toe. I don't want to stress the knee. I just want to warm up a lot of structures around the knee, around the hip. So breathing in through the nose, out through the nose if possible. Step. See, I'm stepping into that pillow and I'm keeping my heel down in the back before I step over, okay? All that done with my palms up. And I'm going to go from here to here. So I'm leaning in right now, pushing my heel down, feeling a little stretch, drop my shoulders, rib cage up, breathe in through the nose, tight tummy, ready? I'm going to bring that back leg. I'm going to come up and over. So what does that do? That makes me just momentarily, I'm going to move back a little bit because I think you can't see me on the floor. I'm hoping that's going to be okay. All right, there we go. So see, I'm stepping forward. My hands, palms are up, and then look at here. Yeah, you feel that little bit of a stretch. Exactly. And if you closed your eyes right now doing this move, see this move, my heel's on the ground, my knee is bent in the back, it's bent just a little in the front, and I keep my heel on the ground, and then I go straight with my leg in the back, then I step over right there, and if I'm not careful, you're going to lose your balance. Yes, so this is a balance challenge. So in the spirit of safety, just turn your chair. If you're out on the middle of your floor, turn your kitchen chair so you can just put your hand there. Okay, I don't know if Kay is on yet, but she would tell you, yes, do that. It will help. So we're warming up and we're doing it around our little pad. Hi, everybody coming on. I always try to get started right on time. I may not come right on at 9:15, but I try to get started into the class, warming up. at least and getting into the class by 9:30. So we've been doing this. So I'm taking you through a very important mobility exercise with ankles, knees, hips, backs. And then we add this. See this? This comes back and the elbows are into the waist. I'm back on my back leg before I step over. My knee is bending. And see, if you're doing all this, if you get it and you're doing all this and you're sitting there saying, okay, I get it, Jeannie, keep going. I'm like, no, I'm doing all this because I want you to stay there for a second or 2 or 3, or how about 15? Okay, so see, I stepped over, normal step, my foot on the pillow, my knee is bent. Then I'm gonna straighten the knee in a raised position in the back. What is that gonna do? That's gonna make you juggle for balance. Yes. And if you have any kind of issues going on with a hip, a hamstring, a knee, and you go into straightening that leg in the back, and see it's raised only 2 inches, that's going to reverberate all the way up. So you got to be on target. My palms are up, my thumbs are pointing back, my elbows are definitely in. Front knee is bent just a little. Then I'm going to come up and go over. Okay, then I'm going to take that foot off, and I know that foot's going to be on the ground and the other foot's going to be on there, but not yet. Are you ready? This is the first move I showed today. See that stepping across? Yes. Okay, so rib cage up, shoulders down. Yeah, tuck the chin in, soften up the knees, keep the thumbs pointing back. Yeah, this is for you, Kay. Okay, I'm going to lift and move over here. See that? And the back foot now, the back knee is bent a little because I'm kind of putting a little torque on it, a little into my ankle and all the way just to do this crossover and to stay in the right position with that foot. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to do it 2 more times. Okay. So when you get up and you're moving around your house, you don't do this move typically. You just go forward and back. I know, that's why I'm taking you through this. This is the first move I showed for some of y'all who happened to come on a little late because it's a beautiful fall day and you just were sipping your coffee a little longer. I know these things. Okay, put your elbows right in here. Okay, so this move right here, and if you get tired, if you get fatigued up here, which you will, just put your hands down, shake them a little bit, then come back up, turn your palms up, drop your shoulders, rib cage up, and right here, there you go. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to go across, see, and I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to go across, and here's what I'm going to try not to do. I'm going to try not to wobble. If I need to, I'll put my hand on the chair. It's going to throw you. Be ready for that. Okay, be safe. Have your chair next to you, a wall, a counter. One more. See this? So my rib cage is up. I have gentle pressure on the front, more pressure with a side leaning. It's going to force you into the side of your foot, which what I want, because I want an inversion, eversion type effect on this move. It's a simple move, and you don't even have to know those terms to do this. And see this move that I'm doing right now? This is quite a typical move in many movement type activities. Let's say dancing. I saw Julia come on. Okay, so we went across our pillow, we came down, and we came back. And we did it both sides about 3 times. Okay, I'm just kind of showing you, keeping you up. And when you did that, you need to drop your shoulders and rib cage up with your thumbs back, and then you come back up. Okay, now I made a point to remember on our previous move, this is the foot, see, that was back. So this is going to be the foot that's going to move back and forth this time. So I'm going to go back like this, see? And I'm going to step over like that. And I'm going to push that heel down. Yeah, push the heel down, say rib cage up, pull your thumbs back, and keep your chin tucked. My tummy is super tight. And then I'm going to come from this move, which I'm bending a little more forward on the knee, but you got to keep your heel down. See, if your heel comes up in the back, then forget pushing the knee forward. You're not in the right position. All right? All right. Keep your elbows in. Take a breath. Bring it up and back. Big deep breath. Yes. Now we're going to take the other one. And I'm going to switch and go up onto the platform this time. I think I did that. I think I didn't do the platform, but we'll do it on both anyway. All right, so we'll do it again. So I'm going to take this down, and then I'm going to pivot to the back. See that? So I'm raised here just a little bit. I'm going to go forward. I'm going to go back. How's your hands doing? So here comes the move. The thumbs are still back. The elbows are in. But as I come up and forward, I want to pull the thumbs back. So why am I taking the time to do all these weirdo moves? Okay? Because I'm trying to realign you. Okay? And I'm doing it, switch your feet. So now you're on the platform. I'm going to step up and over. And as I step, I'm going to pull those thumbs back. Okay? And then I come back down. And I step back over. And I straighten that back leg. Yes. You straighten the back leg. And you should feel it all through here. Thumbs are going back, shoulders are down. Tuck my little chin. And then come back over and back over. Nice. Okay. Now I'm going to push my little chair forward. My little stepping thing. All right. Now we're going to go from that move to a very important move. And I a lot of times start my movement classes or end it with this move. And you're saying, well, what's so important about that move? Well, I'm doing a thing that's going to help you open these up and at the same time get these woke up. Okay? So I step into my chair. See, like that? So that's why I did those precursor things off of that. It was a gentle form of this. All right? So drop your shoulders. Yes. And you see how my knee is kind of pushing into the seat of the chair? Yeah? So I'm going to slide my foot back a bit. So hopefully you're not on too slippery of a floor. Mine is carpeted, so that helps. And then my heel has to be down in the back, in the front. And I'm going to really straighten this leg. And you see, if you want to do it with no chair, you're going to get off balance. I can just guarantee you that. So have your chair there so that you can tap it, touch it, whatever. Bend your knee, bend your knee, bend your knee in the back, in the back, in the back. Come on down, but don't go forward. Okay? Come down, don't go forward. Down, not forward. Breath, breath. Now hang out here for just a little bit. See, it's just a tiny little pulse. Put your hands right here on your hips. Say rib cage up and make sure that your hips are not dropping one side versus the other. Okie dokie. Okay, little caution. If you have anything that's impacted or concerning or a little delicate in your hip, especially your hamstring right now, and I'm doing this in a holding pattern, it's going to get your attention. So make sure you don't overdo things, okay? So back, 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 back. See, I'm doing these little pulses, see that? See that? So it's building a lot of tension in the lower leg, which I want, in the right here, okay? Say rib cage up, breath in through the nose, put those thumbs back, and then come straight with that back leg. Now lean forward. Yes. Keep your heel down, keep your heel down, keep your heel down, keep your heel down. And then come back up and take a little walk. Backwards walk, forwards walk. Backwards walk, and then cross midline. So I'm going to go like this. Remember we did that on the little, with that as our target, the little pad as our target. Then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go here, okay? Tight, tight, drop my shoulders, drop my chin, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose if possible. I'm looking out my front window here and I'm seeing a little chipmunk. He's so cute, but I'll tell you, those little buggers are destructive. I think they're rooting up all of my shrubs in the front. So I'm gonna get my trap out. I'm gonna take them to some other's house, somebody else's house, and let them have that their lawn. Okay, see how I'm doing this and coming back? So why am I doing this so many times? I'm trying to get you to move your ankle like this. At the same time, I'm challenging your balance systems. At the same time, I'm loading your whole body, every joint, all the way down, just in this move. And if I'm not careful, I'll lose my balance. So if you tried to do this whole thing with one eye closed, well, it will get your attention really quickly. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that unless you're hanging on to something, because I don't want you to in the floor. Are you hearing me, Kay? And then come back and come back. See that? See that? Okay. Listen, if you guys would just do this move along with just a few of those other ones, but this one is not something you do commonly. It is so important though to give that ankle and your balance systems a little workout. See that? See? And you can, if you want to make it harder, step wider. If you want to make it less hard, just step close and bend. See that? See that? Yeah. Take a big deep breath. Okay, now we're ready to switch knees. So now this knee is going to go forward. And if you're telling me that you forgot which knee you worked with, well, that's a whole different class. Maybe I need to call somebody. Okay. That's supposed to be a joke. Okay. Step back. Okay. So I'm straight on. My knee is just barely touching the seat of the chair. Got it? This leg here is straight. You can straighten it first because I'm trying to address the tightness of the front of the hips here on this side, on the other side, not this side, this side. Okay? Then I'm going to bend my knee. But what am I going to do? I'm going to bend my knee, but I'm going to keep my heel down. Okay? That's a whole different move than bringing your heel up and bringing your knee down. Okay? That's a whole different emphasis. So right now I'm involved with helping you stretch through and open up your hip, front and back, the calf as it relates to your walking, your ankle, your knee. I'm going to say rib cage up. If you're leaning in on this, well, don't. Act like I'm in front of you and I'm tapping you right here. Okay? See? I might tap some people a little harder. So push back, keep your chin down, and see how I'm going to bend my knee, but I'm going to keep my heel down. It's going to want to come up, but I'm not going to let it come up. okay? Take a big breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. And now straighten that leg again and pull yourself back, okay? Shake, shake, shake. Then I'm gonna come up and you should feel quite a lot of heating up, hot points. Yes, because it's opening these tight, tight hip flexors. Sometimes when you have beginning arthritis in joints, they get tight. You can help mitigate that on a daily basis just by doing some of these moves. Okay, so we're gonna recover. So we're gonna go across and back and across and back. And when you go across and back, you gotta keep your tummy tight. See that? You gotta keep your tummy tight. Yes, 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 yes. Now, we're gonna come right, put our hands right here in the seat. See, like that? And I'm gonna stand on both feet. I'm gonna push into the heels, and I'm gonna rotate back into the balls of my feet. Now I'm gonna rotate into the heels, and I'm gonna lift my toes. Really lift your toes until you feel it right here, okay? So, hands on the seat, go into and raise your heels, then rock back into the heels and bring the toes up. As you increase your bend or your hip hinge, see, we're hip hinging. We're not really squatting. We're putting pressure and mobility moves on our feet, on the fronts of our feet, the backs of our feet. And by doing this, you innervate the fronts and the backs of those calves, the front of the shins and the calves. Now, once you've done that, now sit down there, right there, knees bent. You ready? Drop your shoulders, bring your elbow up and rotate. Once you get your hand up there, then I want you to turn your head and I want you to try to see your hands. See that? So I pivot and I bring my knee down a little. My elbow is bent and I'm looking over my shoulder here. And I'm bringing that arm way back to open up the chest. Take a big deep breath. Come back down and switch. So we're bent. Drop your shoulders. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Once you're down, up as far as you can go with your hand, turn that chin like it's trying to go up over the shoulder there. Breath, 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 and bring it back down. Nice. Then take your hands, reach through the chair, and push back into the heels. Now at this point, your ears should be right next to your biceps. Then you're gonna rotate, take a big deep breath. You're gonna go into the ball of your feet and your heels are really up. Then you press into the heels, bring your toes up just like we did before, and you're pulling against the back of the chair as you're pushing into the heels. Take a big deep breath, big deep breath, big deep breath. Then come back to a neutral foot, and then you're gonna take your hand, one hand, and you're gonna come down to the side, put your hand on the floor. Okay, push back on the hips, and you're gonna come right here. And when you do this, here's what I want you to notice. You're pushing into the heels, you're increasing your bend, you're keeping one hand here, and you're reaching over and putting your hand on the floor. And you wanna try not to get your head too far down from your butt. Okay, so here I go. So I gotta increase the bend. If I'm gonna put my hand down, I have to get my butt down. See that? I'm gonna do it one more time. Take a breath, drop your shoulders, heels, reach, drop the butt, put your hands down there, pat the floor. One last time, here we go. Into the very big increased hip hip squat thing that we're doing here. It's a hip hinge, a big hip hinge. So the whole reason that I'm trying to get you to do that is to do a very careful turning, dropping, getting more mobility to get down into the floor and back up. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so as I'm here, I'm going to, again, go into my heels. I'm going to go into my toes. Now, this is where you probably will need a little chair. Okay, now I'm going to turn it this way so you see what I'm doing. All right, so all I'm going to do is get on my heels and I'm going to walk just a few and then walk back. Okay, this is a very important thing that should be done by us in our age demographic pretty much every day. So it's just a real quick heel walk. Shoot, you could do this. You could do this while you were eating an apple. You could do it while you're brushing your teeth, maybe. See what I'm doing? I'm just doing heel walks with my shoulders down and with my chair here. Because I will guarantee you that if you try to do heel walks without putting your hand on something, you're either going to do a very little movement or you're going to overbend. Okay, so I want you to stay rib cage up. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to feel right through the shins because your toes are up so much. So you're braced, your shoulders are down. Breathing, bring the toes up. Walk around. And you might say, well, dang, Jeannie, how many of those I have to do? And I'm like, well, how many can you do? That would be my first question. Always shoot for like a 30-second task. You know, if you're holding or if you're doing, I'm holding my toes up, or 3 sets of 10. See? Yeah. So if you just do 3 of these, no problem. You do 30. Kathy's counting. She's going to quit at 30. She's going to quit at 20. Okay. All right. See, I got my toes up. I've just been going back and forth. I got my hand here lightly, and back. And I'm on my heels. I know. Barefooted. I know. So I could not do this on a regular floor. So you have to have a pad that you're walking on or carpeted or something like that. But don't bend forward. Okay. Bring your toes down. Actually pull your toes under because those fronts of those legs are going to be screaming. If you did that whole thing with me, your shins are screaming. Okay. See how I'm putting the top of my foot down to recover? So heel walking, everybody knows toe walking, but heel walking is a thing that we should be doing. Okay, are you ready? I'm just getting my sequence down. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my little pillow. I'm not sure if you're seeing this. Okay. So I'm going to put my toes. So I'm doing a lot of this stuff with what's called a closed chain type of a loop. What does that mean? It means I got my feet on the floor. Now I don't. That's an open. Okay. But we walk around for the most part in functional, grounded type activities. So I wanted to do a workout that would really help your leg strength. And if you do this all with really good bracing, you bend over, you pick up something. You have to bend over to do dishes. You have to do brace. If you can't do anything else to support your back, and you're bending from the hips, let's say you're doing it correctly and everything, you're doing dishes, you're doing project, whatever, brace, just brace. So do you see what I'm doing with my feet right now? Yeah, this is kind of a big deal. And if you're barefooted and you're on a really good thick pad, wow, we just don't take the time to do these, okay? That's one of the reasons why people get so bored with physical therapy. It takes a while, okay? And a lot of times they're left there, you're left, oh, here, do 20, 30 of these, and then they go do something else, and then you're doing 60, and then they finally come back. Well, I'm doing these with you. So if I'm doing these with you, do them. Okay? I know your sluggy ways. I know you don't want to, and you want to take a break. And I'm just saying I'm doing them, so do them with me. So see, I have my hand here gently. I'm carefully going up into the ball of my foot. Then I'm carefully going back down and touching my heels. I'm constantly lining myself up, okay? So your knees should not be locked. That's number one. Chin is tucked. Shoulders are down and in. And if you push them down first, they'll float in exactly where they're supposed to be. That's why I say, put your shoulders down, because generally your shoulder blades will go right on into the back like they're supposed to. And keep your tummy bracing, okay? So my knees are soft, my shoulders are down, and now, I don't know, I think I'm past 10 here, but I'm feeling it in my calves. Now let me tell you something. If you have had a major injury of anything, hip, muscle, hamstring, joint on one side versus the other, you are weaker on that calf. You just are. And so therapy is designed to move your muscle, move it gently, and to keep you from hurting yourself again. That's what really physical therapy does. It does very gentle moves that people even think is not doing anything. I've heard that so many times. That would be wrong. So I'm doing these with you. And some of you have very weak calf muscles because you've had injury. And when you've done it this many times, so of course I'm heading for 3 sets of 10. All right. That's a gentle way of saying, do 30, you little slug. Okay. Take a breath. Keep your shoulders down. If you've got your hand on a chair, don't overuse it. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to do 5 more, just 5 more with me. Okay. You should be feeling your calf. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Just 2 more. Take a breath. Drop, drop, brace. Okay. 1 more. Ah, I know. Okay. See how I stepped off? And I just did a reverse move. I just stepped off, stepped forward, and pulled my toe back. That's it. And then turn out. See that? And turn out. And you'll have immediate recovery. You'll release. See that? Yeah, just like that. And we're going to follow that with a very important, gentle. In fact, I'm going to put my chair in the front so that I can reach it if I want it. Not that you have to have it. We're going to do a side lunge. And it's not going to look like a lunge, okay? You're stepping here, you're stepping here, standing forward. I want to step and keep this leg straight. And I want to sit into this leg. It shouldn't be a great big move, okay? Especially if you've had some injury. Okay, so I'm right here. Tummy is tight, shoulders are down. I'm going to step enough that I can bend this knee and kind of, so to speak, set into the move, and this leg is straight. Okay. This makes me bring it back in. my adductors, my abductors, my flexors and extensors gently, but it makes you move them in ways that you're not used to, all right? Because you usually don't. So I'm gonna step out and I'm gonna bend this leg. Okay, so do that with me. Step out, bend this leg, and go to where this is straight. And once you've done the move, you hip hinge a tiny bit, and you'll feel it in your back, okay? In a good way. Then I'm gonna come back, okay? Tummy's tight. So the leg I step to do the lunge in, and it's not gonna be a lunge like you see, you know, on all these video things. Those guys are crazy. I probably would have been doing it if I was 50 years younger. But I'm not now, so I want to keep functioning. So as I step, I'm bending this leg, all four corners of the foot, and you straighten this. See, it's not huge, but I feel it a little here as I bend my knee a little. See that? Then you come up, step, sit into this leg that you stepped, sit into that leg, you bend it, you hip hinge, keep your chin tucked, and you feel it right up here. Yes. Man, I wanted to hit this because so many people screw up a side leg lunge, and then you can really hurt yourself if you go too far, you don't quite line yourself up right. So here I go. The leg that steps is going to be bending. This one is straight. And I'm sitting right down into here. So that means hip hinge, and I feel it a little more in my heel, but it's right here. Yes, right there. And then I come up out of it. I tighten in, big breath, in through the nose, out through the nose, bring that leg in. One more time on the other side and on the other side. And again, you'll say, oh, geez, this isn't doing anything. Aren't I supposed to go more than that? Aren't I supposed to feel it more? No, you're supposed to do it more. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. See? See? Hip hinge, chin tucked. I just feel it here. It's not stressful on my joints, but it's the move into that side lunge done properly and done enough. So this one's straight. The one you step with is the one you bend, and you push until you feel it right here. Yeah, it should get your attention. And seriously, you're trying to do 3 sets of 10. Okay? See how I stepped? Sit into it, bend the hips. Okay? Breath, keep your chin tucked. Okay? And then come back up. Now we're going to move on to some other ones. I may come back to this because we didn't get 30. All right. You should have felt that significantly through here. That's a good thing. But step out. And we're going to just do a little turn to release. Yeah. So when you really work on something and you get the muscle working and you get mobile, that's the byword on Wednesday, mobile. Okay. You feel certain tightnesses here and there. Okay. Well, this is how you can rotate and recover. Take a big deep breath and see what I'm doing. I'm doing slight one-legged stances. I still have my toe down, but I'm turning. I'm not really leaning. I'm just shifting my weight a bit. Okay? This is a valuable move to do properly. Okay? Big deep breath, big deep breath, big deep breath. Okay. Now we're going to switch and come around with our little chair. Now we're going to go down get into our knee position. Okie dokie. So a lot of times you find yourself where you have a wall. a door that you can use for push-ups, especially for all kinds of things, but sometimes you don't. So what I'm going to do is do kind of a wall push-up move, and I'm going to do it where I'm going to stabilize your hips just a little bit more, because I'm going to come right here and I'm going to put myself right into on my knees. See that? So this is push-ups for the real world. I'm right here. I got my knees on my little pad. I'm going to lean in, okay? I'm gonna take my knees off the pad. So if I take my knees off the pad, where does all the weight have to go? Right, your hands. So I'm gonna lean here, look at my elbows, they're back. My tummy is super tight, and here's the biggest mistake people make. They go into this, they like, oh man, this is gonna be so hard. And you know what you do? You bring your shoulders up here to get ready for that hard move. So you don't want to do that, okay? Drop your shoulders. Yes. Elbows are soft. Yes. Elbows are in. Yes. I'm gonna bring my knees off the ground and then go back to my knee. See that? So it's a pretty short-lived stressor, okay? But stay with me here. All right, drop your shoulders. My hands are right here on the chair. Pull right to there and then come back down, okay? And then come back up and come back down. Take a big breath. Breath. Keep your shoulders down. So some of you may be saying to yourself, wait a minute, this is Wednesday. I thought this was Mobility Wednesday. And I would say to you, guess what? When you get into strength positions to call forth, you using your whole body, especially your core and your upper body, you start to get stronger. And this is a mobility kind of a move. You're using your body weight. So yes, you have to have a lot of mobility to be able to get into that position. We have these neat little pads. It makes it all so easy. Take a big deep breath. Here we go. Drop your shoulders. Yes. Elbows in. Yes. Knees are down on the floor. My toes are underneath. They're loaded, ready. And then you bring those knees up. You can straighten them or just hang there for a second. But if you're hanging there, make sure your shoulders are down. Take a big deep breath. Drop your shoulders. Press with that knee. That knee can go straight or bend. The elbows are definitely bent. And then you come back, and then you come back. You act like you're gonna put your knees in the floor, but then you don't. And then you do. And then you don't. And then you do. And then you don't. And then you do. Okay, how you feeling? I can tell you liked that. I can tell by the little figure that I see instead of you. You're like, I don't want her to see me. That's okay. Okay, see this? It's gonna be here. We're gonna use it. But I'm down on the floor on my hands and knees. And I'm gonna do a bird dog or a quadruped, or it's called many things. Hands and knees. Because we're gonna attack the core right now, your back and your gluteals. Okay, are you ready? Big breath, in through the nose, out through the nose if possible. You're on your hands and knees. Yes. Anytime you get tired, go to your elbows like that. Put your head down. Okay, anytime you need to take a break, go into that move, all right? If you do go into that move, make sure you keep your shoulders down. All right, now just tuck your hips and then come back, okay? So we're just going to do the first set is just going to be tucking your hips, tucking your tail, okay? And then you release, and then you go down into just a little bit of a camel type of a move. Then you come back up. So we're just tucking. We're moving ourselves into what's called a quadruped. It's moving with all of your limbs, okay? I'm going to keep my chin tucked, okay? Then after I've done about, I don't know, 6 of these, tucking your tail and then pushing your rear end back and keeping your shoulders down. After I've done, 6 of those, kind of find neutral. Keep your tummy tight, keep your shoulders down, take one leg, I don't care which, and just slide it back. See that? So you're just going to slide it back. Now the opposite hand is going to just come up. You can even rest it on a chair if you want to. See how I'm going to come up? And I got my elbow right here, and then I can take it off the chair. So this is my go-to to get people to engage in this move a little longer. See, I'm putting my hand right here, and then I just reach. See that? That's your modification. Then if you need to, put your elbow there, keep this up, keep your toes pointing down, reach, and then you're just going to go tap, bring it up, put your elbow on the chair anytime you need to. Work with just your leg, or work with your hand and your leg, or not. Put your elbow on the chair anytime you need to. Okay, one more. Breath, breath. Bring it back in and go to your elbows. I know you're just loving this, aren't you? Okay, so I'm right here. And before I go to the other side, make sure you know which side did you just do. I want you to do a combat crawl. I want you to crawl out and put your hips down, okay? I think you're seeing me. I'm pretty sure you're seeing me. I got a lot of stuff here in this little room. Okay, so my elbows are down, and I'm doing a nice, gentle hyperextension on my back, okay? I'm gonna put my toes down, and I wanna just push into my elbows gently. Just gently. Then I'm going to turn my neck. I'm going to turn my chin to go to one side. I'm not going to do it fast. I'm just going to go side to side. I'm going to hang out here for a little bit before I go to the other leg, the other arm. Okay, this is a very valuable position if you tend to have back discomfort. It could be coming from your hip, could be coming from spinal stenosis, could be coming from arthritis, all kinds of things. Be gentle with it, but try to get yourself in this position once a day and try to hang out there for an accumulation of at least 30 seconds, maybe even a minute. Okay, now I'm going to come back up. So I'm going to do my combat crawl. I'm going to lift my butt. Come back up, okay? So I'm right here, and I had this leg back before, so I'm going to take this leg back this time. Take a big deep breath. If you want to move your chair over to the other side so you can put your elbow on the chair, that's fine. I'm not going to take the time to do it because I can do it without it, but if you need your chair, put your chair here so you can put your hand on there. So I'm going to lift my leg first. Drop my shoulders, keep my chin tucked. Don't drop your head excessively, okay? So there I am, right there. Then I'm gonna bring my hand up. See, I'm not gonna reach my hand out at first. I'm just gonna bring my hand off the floor. I'm gonna hang out here for a bit. And then I'm gonna go down. Take a breath. In through the nose, lift the leg. Dorsiflexion, lift your hand, sneak it out. Just sneak it out in front of you. and hang out here for a good 10 seconds if possible. If not, bring it back, put it down, put your leg down, go back to your elbows. Take a big deep breath, push into the elbows and push your butt back. Do our little combat crawl. Yeah, I'm taking a break right in between all this. Okie dokie. I'm looking at you over my weights. I think you can see me. Okay, do your hyperextension right there. All right. Hang out there for a couple of seconds. Take a breath. Lift the hips. Combat crawl back. And now we're just going to go into the move. We'll start with the one that we just ended on. So we'll start with that one since we didn't hold it quite as long. Take a breath. Hang out here and just come down and tap. Lift, tap. Lift, tap. Lift and tap. Breath and tap. And breath. And bring the hand in. We won't take the break now. We'll go to the other leg and finish up. Up and back down. Keep your elbow bent if you need to. That's perfectly fine. Breath. So you're just coming up and tapping, coming back down. Up and then tap down. Up and tap down. Bring that knee in. Then we're going to rotate to the side. So I'm right here. Okay. And if you have problems with pain in your hips, this is when you get your little pad underneath your little hip there. Okay. So I'm going to put my hand right here on the side of my leg. I'm going to open it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to open it. Am I pushing on this hand? No, I am not. But what I am doing is letting my hand lay there, okay? If this is very hard on your shoulder, then you get yourself a little pillow, a little pad, you rotate under, and you just keep doing this. Okay, this is the tip, this is the clam that I've done many, many times, and I've encouraged you to do this little move as a way of waking up or, you know, doing some of your stretches when you're feeling tight into your hips, okay? And I'm telling you, if you put a little leg weight, for those of you who are ready, if you just take this little leg weight, lay it right there, see that? And you do not rotate your hip. Many of you have been with me know this. All you do is lift it and bring it back down. So you just open it like a little clam, bring it back down. Keep your shoulder down, tight in the tummy, and you're just lifting like a little clam and coming back down. Many of you have done this, and you've done maybe 5 to 10. But you didn't get anywhere near 30. Why do I know this? Because I know slugs, okay? See this? This is getting heavy. This is my hip replace side. So I'm going to continue now without the weight. So those of you who are rehabbing things like hamstring issues, you know who you are. Knee issues, hips. I'm going to get to where I can do this little clammy move with that stinking little weight. I'm going to get to where I can do 30 of them. But I can tell you, I could only do what? I did what? 5 of them with the weight. Okay. So before that, I have to get to where I can do this without the weight, right? So I think that's a lot right now. I didn't count it, but I know Kathy did. So I'll just stop. I'll swing my legs forward. Some of you have shoulders that are giving you trouble on this one. Don't not do this just because of that. Lay yourself down. That's fine. take breaks. It's good to put that kind of pressure on your shoulder. So you're holding your body weight. See? You're holding your body weight with your shoulder in, right? Tight tummy. So I'm right here. My knees are stacked on the knees. The ankles are stacked on the ankles. When you go to press, make sure you're bracing, your shoulders down, and just open that, see? Just open it a little. If you are opening this by doing a roll, then you're not helping that area, okay? So we're just gently doing this little clam. And if you have some wonky issues with your hip, you'll feel it on this one. But again, this is a hip lift that if you do it with, this is a leg clam lift. This is not a hip lift. If you do it with the hip lift, which we've done many, many times, which if you want to walk better, do this. If you want to walk better, do the hip lifts. And I'll end on the hip lifts today. Okay. So now I've done at least 10. I'm going to use to warm up, kind of. I'm going to put my little 5-pound leg weight right there. See, it's opened out and it's just laying right there. And you could do that with a bag of beans, like a 4-pound bag of beans. That'd be fine. But man, do you feel it through here, especially if you're not rotating your hip. Do not rotate your hip. Keep your shoulder from slipping up like that. Keep your line good. So this is addressing neck weakness, shoulder in through your shoulder girdle, and especially your hip. But don't roll that hip. Breath. So I'm much stronger on this side than I was on my hip replace side. So that's my goal. So I'm going to keep doing these. One more set. I did about a set with the weight. And now I'll finish up with just 10 more. Okay. So I tried to keep you listening while we were doing this so that you will keep doing it. No, I don't know if you're doing it or not, but whether you're cheating on this or you're being a slug, that's okay. Everybody's a slug once in a while. I just want you to get the good benefit. Okay, just do 3 more. Breath, breath, and breath. Okay, so we're down here in the floor. So we might as well take a roll. See, go down. I'm going to take that little same leg weight, 5 pounds, put it right across my hip bones. Have my heels down. I'm going to squeeze the rear end. Keep the little sandbag or the little beans or the little weights right there. Rotate and up. So I'm telling y'all, this is a foundational move. If you're having back issues and you're not slipping this into at least 3 times a week, you need to do this move. Okay, this is a very important move, especially with people with hip issues, knee issues, injuries to anything in their back or their lower body. Take a big breath and take your hands and rotate them out. And this is a little test to see how your shoulders, how the tightness. So if you've just got your hands like at a, like a W position, the backs of your hands and your wrists and your forearms should be on the ground. If you're doing this kind of a thing where you can't quite get your forearms down, well, open your hands out a little bit, adjust whatever you need to, and try to get the forearm and the wrist down, okay? Take a breath, squeeze, lift, hold. 1,001, 1,002, that's fine. Adjust whatever needs to be, but do these, okay? So pull this thing up if you need somebody screaming at you to do it. And just go straight to the last part of this and do the hip, do the little clammy move and do this move. Okay, you just come up and you just hold 1,001, 1,002, and you just really rotate through the hips, okay? And then press, pull in your rear end and then lift and hold it up there for just a second, right there. And back down, take a breath. Take a breath. Try to get if you need a pillow, that's all right. Put a pillow under your head. But don't not do these just because you can't get your head right, okay? You can if you use a little pillow. That's a little cheater move, but I'll let you do it. Okay, hold, 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 hold. Breath, 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 and then come back down. Now, if you want to stay down there and do the follow-up, which is what we're going to do, we're going to be doing this whole month into fall. You just take this leg out and you just lift your hips with this leg right alongside of the other one. See that? See that? See that? And you just lift. Okay? Breath. Just a little bit. You don't have to go all the way. Just a little bit. So if you have hips replaced, knee replaced, that's going to be hard. But life's hard. So I'm going to rotate. I'm going to come to all fours. I have my chair here if I need it. I'm going to push into my toes. I'm going to come and equalize out just a bit. Right there. Take a breath. And you're good to go. I hope you walk through a really nice day today. Thanks for coming on. I hope it helped.